with Rangers pitching because Mad Max Scherzer, he only pitched 2 2/3 in Game 7, but I saw him stalking around the mound. I saw him in the dugout looking possessed. I had a thought cross my mind of just like, he didn't have his best stuff, but is the generation of like big game pitcher, bulldog, psychopath, like is that a dying breed in Major League Baseball, you think? Because I don't know how many other guys are out there like Mad Max stalking around and not letting people talk to him.
Well, there are more people like that. I will say there are some very intense individuals, but Mad Max, he is who he is because of some of those traits and characteristics, and maybe that's just a part of how he focuses in. Yeah, I wouldn't say that because I'd say Verlander for the most part, he goes about his business his own way. Now, granted, obviously didn't turn out as well, but I mean, his pedigree speaks for himself. I don't know. I don't know how to fully. I think there are guys, but they might not be as. I don't want to say not as content provoking, as Mad Max, like, and I remember even him throwing live BPs on the backfields in spring training where you felt like it was the World Series, where he's just dialed in. I think I remember the time I wasn't even in on this, but someone else was hitting and I think got a hit and he's like, get the fuck back in there. And he's like, okay. And the guy got back in and then Max struck him out. And then he's like, again, and he got back in and struck him out again. And, again, that was a story that that stuck with me. With that one specifically, I excited to keep going, but a guy told me later, he's like, "Yeah, Max just kept bringing him back in," and that type of intensity, I don't know if you're to have that on a consistent basis, but that's what makes him great. Honestly, it's special. Now, are we going to see that greatness in the postseason? I mean, guys, Kate, you guys can tell me. I don't think personally he's trying his best, but I think he's just going to be so limited because I do think he is still pretty banged up. I think this might be his last shot in his mind to win a World Series. So why not give it everything you got?
Yeah. I think he's
sorry. I forgot. I'm allowed to curse on here, by the way, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's a fantastic. Every time I have somebody on associated with the Nationals or any team he's been on, we are like, all right, Mad Max stories. And they're always just like backfield spring training, doing bunting drills. Like Will Crow was like, this guy's crazy. Like he's taking it way too seriously, trying to bunt balls into a bucket. He's built different. I think he had a quote. He said, you gotta want the ball in these situations when the time rises and the pressure is on, all the chips in the table, you gotta want to go out there. And I'm just like, you don't see too many guys like that with the way that bullpens and analytics and short rest. Mad Max he wants the ball in these big games, and it's his fifth start in a postseason winner take all, and his team has won 4 of those starts. I mean, this is rarefied air for Mad Max, and you're right, it is a little sad because his body is deteriorating rapidly. So enjoy it while we can.
Yeah, and I think even sorry, I was just gonna say the bulldog mentality with Scherzer, I feel like with a lot of the younger pitchers coming up, like there was the example this year, it was George Kirby on the Mariners who said, I didn't want to go out for the 7th inning. And I feel like someone like a Max Scherzer or Justin Verlander or Garrett Cole would never say that or even think that. I feel like with Max, he's going to say, I'll go 2 innings, I'll go 3 innings, I'll go 4 innings. And obviously he's still coming back from injury. But again, to Ryan's point, with the Rangers pitching depth, I feel like they're gonna have to use him to go really as much as he can for the World Series.